This is Angelo Ferrer, head MMA coach and Kajukenbo instructor coming out of Kajukenbo, Hyogo, Japan. And you're watching Social Jello with Angelo.
So Hiroki is a retired pro boxer, and he was talking to me about how when we spar, he has no clue when to come in when we're doing our kickboxing or even in MMA. He says that it looks like I'm not going to do anything, and he can't figure out when to come in to avoid a counter. And a big reason for this is because Hiroki's a boxer, and he tends to have his boxing stance, which is kind of light on the feet, heavy on the legs, and leaning a little bit forward, which is great for boxing, absolutely excellent for boxing. Unfortunately, in kickboxing, it opens him up for low leg kicks. So what happens is when he's trying to figure out how to come in and he's moving around a lot, I'll take what they call a neutral stance, which is my shoulders are squared. I'm a southpaw, but even if I was regular, my head is in between, right between both. So here's my legs, and I want to center out right in the middle. I don't want to be leaning forward or leaning back. I want a completely neutral stance. I'll put my hands up. If we're kickboxing, I'll put my hands up towards my head here so that he can't see, he doesn't have any opportunities to get his hooks in. And then on top of that, I'll be kind of, if I do move, I'll rock back and forth like this. But I'm really not committing to anything. I'm waiting for him to make his attack. I'm also looking not at his face, but I'm looking at the center of his stomach. Because right here, I can see his legs, I can see his hands, and I know where he's gonna move based off his movements from the center of his body. So from there, I just kind of sit back and relax in a neutral stance, and if he starts throwing a jab or a straight or any other combination, I can start my counter attacks to that. So it's really important to have a neutral stance when you're working your stuff. Take a look at this video. We're going to go into the sparring and show you some sparring footage of what this looks like as far as having a neutral stance, and also how to work this in your shadow box.
So as you can see, Hiroki's coming in with some low jabs, some hooks. He's doing his boxing. I'm trying to get him to use his neutral stance. I go for an attack, I go back into a neutral stance. Mind you, this is not how I always fight, but for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of teaching Hiroki how to use a neutral stance, this is what we were doing. As you can see, Hiroki is doing a good job trying to stick to that neutral stance, and took a little side kick there, but still coming in with the boxing and then coming back with the neutral stance. That's what we're working on. Now let's take a look at what this looks like in shadow boxing.
All right, so we kind of just saw how the neutral stance works out in sparring as far as not telegraphing our movement. Let's take a look at this real quick for our shadow boxing. Whenever we're shadow boxing, we're doing the same thing. We're always in a neutral stance. I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back. I'm neutral with my hands up. Try not to give away too much. So whenever I'm sitting here in my neutral stance, if I'm throwing, for example, a jab straight, I throw my jab straight and then I come back to my neutral stance for whatever combination I do. If I throw a low kick, jab straight, I come back to my neutral stance. Whatever happens, doesn't matter what combination I do, after I'm done with my combination, I come back into my neutral stance. That way we work on not telegraphing our movement later during sparring. Now let's take a look at this at the back. All right, so we're here on our bag, and we're gonna be doing the exact same thing as I talked earlier. Whatever combination you do, whether it's a low kick, jab straight, or a jab straight, low kick, after I'm done with my combination, I go back into my neutral position. Jab straight, neutral position. Jab, jab straight, neutral position. And that's how we work our neutral position into our natural movements, especially if you're coming from a boxing background. You want to work on having a little bit of a different stance when you're doing MMA or kickboxing. And that's a wrap. Work your neutral position into your basic training. Hopefully you can go far with that. Thanks for checking out my channel. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Swear I sound so cheesy saying that, but it helps my channel grow and it helps me make more of these videos for you. Catch you all later. Train your mind, body, and spirit every day.